Welcome to Tenacity with Sonia C., the podcast where we dive into stories behind success, uncovering lessons learned and the insights gained by leaders and innovators in the business world. I'm your host, Sonia, and let's get started. My guest today is Tamara Gem. Tamara captured the nation's heart as Miss Universe Canada 2021, but her journey didn't stop at the pageant stage. She has since channeled her experiences into founding Phoenix Cosmetics, a brand that is as transformative as her own story. Tamara's struggle with adult cystic acne set her on a mission to create a line of makeup that does more than just cover up, it heals. Determined to offer products free from harmful chemicals like parabens, her company emphasizes clean, high performance cosmetics that cater to real skin issues. Today, she's here to share how she turned personal adversity into a thriving business, empowering others along the way. Let's get started. Hi, Tamara. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to have you on and start our conversation.
Me
Um,
too.
awesome. Before we get to it, for those of us who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Tamara Jamovic. I represented Canada at Miss Universe in 2021. I also am a real estate broker and I own my own cosmetics company called Phoenix Cosmetics. That's spelled PHNX Cosmetics. We sell makeup that is clean ingredients made in Canada and cruelty free, with our flagship location located in Toronto in the Kingsway.
Awesome. So, Tamara, you transitioned from Miss Universe Canada to the founder of a cosmetic brand. Can you share a pivotal moment that shifted your focus to entrepreneurship?
I've always sort of been involved in entrepreneurship. I like to say, like my parents are entrepreneurs, and so I had something to sort of look at with that. And with the cosmetics world, I've been involved in the beauty world for the past 15 years, so it really just made sense to start a business that had to do with beauty. I've had my makeup done all over the world, and I used to have cystic acne. So I understand the struggles when it comes to having a skin issue or using makeup that has harsh chemical fillers in it and all of that stuff. So
Mm.
that's why all of our stuff is made clean ingredients and high performance. I actually wore my brand when I was on stage at Miss Universe the entire time I was at Miss Universe. That's sort of a lot of the research and development that went into Phoenix was geared sort of towards making sure that it is high performance, but also clean ingredient makeup so that, people don't have to suffer with skin issues. And a lot of our customers that come in, they have, sensitive skin or acne or a breakout or different things like rosacea and eczema and stuff like that using products that have harsh chemical fillers actually irritate that and make it worse. So we've sort of put the bridge between the clean ingredient stuff that exists and the high performance and put them together into one brand that brings everything to the table.
What were some of your biggest challenges when you were developing the formulas to be clean and performance based?
Challenges. I think that a lot of it is that a lot of the labs and manufacturers that we are using would ask us, oh, why don't you want talc in the product?
Mm.
It's not like it's that bad as long as it's not contaminated with asbestos and all that kind of thing. But for us, like I would rather just do it without just from the get-go so that we don't have to even worry about that and worry about all the things that come with that. So I just like to make sure that all of our formulations are as clean as they can be, but also made in a lab. So sometimes that can get a little bit confusing to people because, sometimes natural makeup is made with, let's say, coconut oil, but coconut oil can be very, very pore clogging. So we also have to take into account that there are very natural ingredients out there that can actually cause breakouts on our skin. So trying to make it as natural or clean as possible without coming off very quickly is definitely one of the challenges that I ran into because a lipstick can be made with beet juice. Sure, that's a wonderful thing, but then it comes off after 1 hour. So it's really nice to just have that sort of balance between. And it took a lot of R&D to get into that, to get it to that point. And I'm really glad that we were able to.
Yeah. So there's the clean aspect of the your brand, but then there's the healing aspect of it. Can you tell us a little bit about that whole concept of, it's clean, but it also heals your skin, and that's all based from your own personal need.
Yeah, absolutely. For a lot of our formulations, most of our formulations, we have hydrating and nourishing ingredients. So our makeup is actually infused with vitamins and herbal extracts, as
Mm.
opposed to containing parabens or sulfates or talc or any of that stuff. We don't like to have those things in our ingredients. And the cool thing about our brand is that the pigmentation is unparalleled. Like you put on a tiny little bit and you kind of go like this, and it's like I think sometimes I would like to film the reactions of our customers because that reaction is usually so natural that we don't have like a camera in the face, but sometimes we do, and I'd like to just do like a compilation of all of those reactions because it's actually really cool. Our makeup is made with various vitamins and herbal extracts, like I said. So our BB cream, for example, is made with niacinamide, that's vitamin B3, and ginseng and aloe and cucumber and chamomile extracts. Our liquid concealer is formulated with collagen producing properties. So it helps with depuffing under the eyes. All of our lipsticks are made with vitamin E, which is also very hydrating. We have a beautiful silk skin primer that is made with green tea extract and aloe vera and vitamin E. So you kind of see like a pattern coming there,
Yeah.
that we are using all of these really, really awesome ingredients. So you know that your skin is going to feel hydrated and nourished while you're wearing the makeup because we wear makeup all day. So we have
Yeah.
to make sure that the stuff that we're putting on our skin is actually doing us a service and not a disservice.
Yeah, I mean, as a breast cancer survivor, I'm always looking for things to put on my skin that are healthy because I think a lot of people forget, especially women, that our skin is an organ and it's part of our body, and what we put on it does have an effect on our everything. And I am wearing your BB cream and your eye concealer today, and I've been using it for a while, and I have to say I love it. I'm not a person who likes to wear makeup. I like, for me, less is more. So I love wearing like very light stuff. It doesn't make me shiny. So I have really been enjoying your stuff, and it hasn't like made me break out. So and I've read the ingredients and really gone into it. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast with you, not just because I love the brand, but I'm using it and I'm really loving it. So I really appreciate you going above and beyond to do that, even though it started with your own personal need.
Yeah, no, I love that so much. And it's women like you that advocate for Phoenix and that have helped us grow exponentially over the last 2 years. Ever since I started the company, I think it took me 6 months from the beginning of the company all the way to the launch. And that was 6 months of every single day working literally almost 24 hours a day. I found time to just sleep in between, but eating and doing everything was just on the go while I was putting it all together. And
Yeah.
so finding that you love the product is literally like it makes my heart so full just because I hear that every day, and every time I hear that it's like I heard it for the first time,
Yeah.
because knowing that we're able to help other women like yourself that are conscious of what you put on your skin is literally the mission. It's why we do what we do. I tell all of our ladies everything you put on your skin gets absorbed into your bloodstream, so you have to be very careful and read the ingredients. And we live in a day and age where we have access to all of that information, and we have the internet, and we can look up things, and we can do all that. And I urge people to do that because all of our ingredients have gone through the clean ingredient checker before they're even available for sale.
I love that. That's awesome. So let's talk about the whole beauty space. Super saturated, so many brands out there. How do you stand out amongst like all of these major brands who don't care about being, necessarily having clean ingredients and things like this? How do you compete, and how do you stay competitive?
So it's funny that you asked me that. And I've been asked this question before on many different occasions, especially when I started this company. I've had people say, oh, like, that's a very, very competitive market. And, for me, like when I hear the word competitive, I think about demand. There is a demand for cosmetics, and there is a demand for clean cosmetics. And here's the thing. There are certain demographics that look for very, very cheap cosmetics, which is fine. And there are other ladies that look for very, very expensive stuff, which is fine too. We like to keep our price point very, very affordable for everybody. The whole idea behind the name Phoenix is that everybody can relate to the Phoenix. We've all been through our fair share of adversity in our lives, and we've all risen from our own ashes, so to speak. And so to make the makeup so affordable for the everyday wear, it was sort of our goal. So in terms of the competition wise, I think it has more to do with what we offer, which is education. And we offer letting many of our women know, and men too that wear makeup, letting all of our consumers know that, this is what we offer, this is what the market has available, and just giving them that choice. And when you have a choice and when you can see one product versus another product, it allows you to make a conscious choice and an educated choice based on the knowledge that you've been able to accumulate. So we're here to educate, we're here to help, and we're here to answer all the questions that our customers may have about ingredients and about products. And as good as well as I can answer it, I would like that, but I'm not a chemist, so I wish I could do that on top of everything else. But we do work with really, really wonderful labs that keep things very transparent for us.
So does a lot of your business plan evolve around marketing, the ingredients and the education portion of the brand?
Some part of it, yes, I would say. I wouldn't say all of it, just because the purpose also is to get the brand out there and to get the name out there. So that has a lot to do with products. Like for example, I always have like my personal lip gloss like just here on the side, and we always are just like taking videos on social media, like look at the pigmentation, like look how incredible that is. When you put it on your hand, like how it really sits and how it stays. Like the question that I get all the time is, how does your makeup stay like all day long? I don't have time to touch up my makeup. I wish that I did. But even when I was at Miss Universe, it was like, be ready 5 o'clock in the morning with your hair done, your makeup done, your dress on, your sash on, your food already you ate, and you're ready for the bus because the bus is leaving. And if you're a minute late, the bus leaves without you. So, you don't really have the time to be fixing your makeup throughout the day because you're so busy and you have so many things going. And this is just in the pageant world, let alone in the regular world where, we have so many other things that are important to us that we have to, show up for. We have
Mm.
kids, we have our job, we have our families, we have so many different things that we don't have time to be dealing with makeup that's sliding off of your face. That's like the least of our worries. Like just get it done in the morning, quickly, 10 minutes, and figure out a nice, easy, simple, minimalistic routine for yourself, just so you can go out into the world confident and happy.
Yeah. I know that when we met, you showed me a picture of your skin prior to starting the brand and what it was like. Can you just like talk about like the problems you were going through? I mean, I have to admit, and please don't take this the wrong way, it was pretty bad. When you showed me the picture, I was like, oh my goodness, like that was your skin. So can you walk us through like what you were going through and what was like what made you all of a sudden say, you know what, I'm just gonna build something that's gonna help me fix this?
Yeah, it's funny. Funny, not funny. I used to not show people those photos because I was so scared, I'm
Yeah.
like, I dealt with that for so long. And that's like, your face is the first thing people see. It's the
Yeah.
first thing they talk to before you even speak. So for me, having like such a bad cystic acne problem that for me came out of nowhere. Like I didn't really have acne when I was a teenager, like kind of here and there, like I had a little bit oily skin, but it wasn't that bad. Then when I got into adulthood, I think it was like 22 years old, I started getting these like really, really like painful bumps underneath my skin, like cysts underneath my skin. And I'm like, okay, like what is going on here? I don't know. Like I haven't changed my food. I haven't changed my environment really. Like I don't understand like what actually is happening here. And so I was still doing pageants. Like I was in the middle of all like my pageant stuff has been going on, like I said, for 15 years. So competing in different pageants and just getting so much makeup and skincare like thrown at me. Like I had boxes and boxes of free stuff. Like just take it, take it, take it. Like this is from this sponsor, that sponsor, this one, that one. Like I literally could have created my own like store in my house from all of the stuff that I was getting. And I started getting like all of these skin problems. And I'm like, okay, so if I use this product, it's going to help the issue that I have that was caused by that product that is going to, and it was a runaround for me. It was this like endless cycle of just more and more bad skin and bad acne and more breakouts and more stress because of that, and then just continued on and on. And then when I started trying out different clean brands that exist, I was noticing that it just wasn't staying on. And, like it's great that it's like natural, very natural makeup, but it doesn't stay on. And I don't have time to retouch all throughout the day. And then when I went on and tried the more high performance stuff, I would get crazy breakouts. Like I knew it was so crazy that I have to like had to plan it like this in my life. But I
Um,
knew that if I had a photo shoot on a Friday, that on Saturday and Sunday I would have bad skin. And by Monday, my skin would maybe clear up a little bit, but the breakouts would start over the weekend. Like that's literally how I used to plan. And I used to think this was normal. Like I actually thought this was normal. And then, I just said, you know what? I'm so tired of this. And it doesn't have to feel like you're wearing an entire mask that you can literally peel off your face and like slide off your face to feel and look beautiful. Like for me, that was just like a no-go. And so I opened up and I started sharing my story, and I started telling women and showing women like just what I showed you. Are you okay with that if I show the pictures?
yeah, of course.
Totally
Yeah.
have them. But yeah, like that's what my skin used to look like. And that is like when it was healing, when it was getting better, and it was terrifying. And I was like, what is going on here? And those are really like the only pictures that I have, because I didn't even want to take pictures, but I did take some like as progress photos, like to how my skin is getting better. And um, it did, knock on wood, knock on all the wood that I can find around me, but it did. And I'm so grateful, and I'm so blessed, and I'm so happy that I was able to, go on this journey in my life and be able to figure out the things that I figured out, and offer women and men a different alternative, and something that makes you feel good and look wonderful as well while you wear the stuff.
And when you have clients give you feedback who have similar issues that you had, what is their feedback to you and how does that make you feel?
Oh my gosh. I get so many people come in, and they'll come in with like problematic skin or issues that they have in different areas, and we're a total non-judgment zone, like judgment free from the second you walk in. Some people here have never even put on mascara in their lives, and they have to learn how to do that, and we're here to offer that. And there are other people that know makeup, and that use different brands, and they'll tell us what they use, and they'll actually bring in the product that they use. We will find them an alternative that we have to offer, and then they'll go and they'll take that, they'll use it, they'll come back, and then they'll show us the change, they'll show us the difference. Like, look at my skin now based on how it was. And you look at it and you're like, oh my God, it's literally like night and day. And it feels like it's such a big sense of accomplishment. It's like a reward that is not monetary. It's driven by passion and fueled by resilience. These are the things that I think of when I think of the Phoenix and the brand and the things that we do. And it's funny, like we'll have these like moments with us and the girls that work here, and we'll have a customer come in and share their story, and say what happened and how they feel so much better wearing our makeup. Then we'll ask them to write us a review, when we have almost 100 Google reviews that are 5-star, and they're just all like gleaming. And then we'll have like a happy moment when they leave, like a high five, like a big hug, like, okay, like we did it. This is why we're doing what we're doing. And that's just like, that to me is more rewarding than anything monetary. And when it comes to tying that a little bit to entrepreneurship, and the money will come if you're driven by your passion, and like I said, you're fueled by whatever it is that you're fueled by. Like for me, it's like the resilience and the Phoenix and the whole idea behind that. Everything will fall into place. That's really truly how I feel.
I mean, before I started using your BB cream, like I always wanted to use BB creams, but I found that they were, because I don't like wearing makeup, I just found that they were heavy and
Yeah.
all day long I knew I had something on my face. And if I rubbed like a white shirt, everything would come off. It was just, and I always wanted to wear BB cream. But I have to say, like when I put yours on, it just feels very light in addition to doing all the work that it's doing. It doesn't come off, and I don't feel like I'm wearing anything, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, wow, like, I don't have to worry about feeling all gooey and stuff, right? So I wanted to ask you, like, what is an experience like for one of your customers who walks into your office or studio or store?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk to you a little bit about from like the first point of contact. So they'll walk in and then they'll say like, oh, like we heard about you online, or we heard about you from, the National Women's Show, which is a show that I MC every year, or some pop-up that we did, or whatever it is. We always ask like, oh, how did you hear about us? Like we like to know that for our market research as well. And so we'll get a different answer and every time. And then what brought you in today? Like, what is the reason that you're here? Like sometimes people will have like some kind of, traumatic skin issue, or a background of something that they've experienced that, they bring forth to the table. There's also just so many different reasons that people will come in because one of the products that they're using currently at home they don't like, because like you said about your previous BB cream, it was a little bit too, it felt like you were wearing too much, like it was too much on your face. And there are so many different reasons that people come in, but when they do, we talk to them about the things that they've experienced, and then after that we show them a little bit of our brand. And like I said earlier about our BB creams and our concealers and our lipsticks and our everything that we have, like we kind of gear towards, because we have almost 200 products, right? So we can't talk about every single one of them, but whatever it is that the customer is looking for, we can show them, what we offer in that sphere, sort of, and then they try it. And once they try it, it's one of those things we always say, if really,
Yeah.
because if you've tried it, And with you and the BB cream, like you're such an advocate for it, which is so amazing. And I really do love that. And see, like we will get, even at events or shows that we do, we'll get somebody come in and just purchase one product. And then they love it so much that they end up placing an online order for like 5 different products, and they're all in the different. So one is in lips, one is in face, one is in brows, one is in mascara, like it's all the things. But it just starts with that one, because once you get that one, then if
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I have to say, I really love the eye concealer, but what I love most out of everything that I got from you was the powder.
Yeah,
And I remember you taught me how to like properly use it with the concealer, and I do it every time, and there's like no creasing, and it just gives me like this beautiful highlight. And I actually use it everywhere because I hate looking greasy, so I just put it everywhere, and it just
amazing.
kind of all the shininess. So what's it called? I call it the powder.
It's the pressed setting powder. Yes, I remember that one.
Yes,
Yes, I
it's
remember.
fantastic. And I remember you told me you were like, don't wait to put it after you put the concealer, like do it right away so it doesn't put on any creasing. So I've been doing that and I do love it. I have to say the powder is my favorite.
I love that so much. I do use the powder too all over my face because I'm usually like tend to be more on the oily side. So I just kind of put it everywhere, but definitely taking extra care under the eye area will make sure that you don't have any creasing. Yeah, it's setting your makeup. It's so important. It's like little tips and tricks that we always love to share with our customers, because you don't really get taught these things in school. And where else are you going to learn it, other than if you actually are seeking the information yourself, right? On your own accord. So, yeah.
And also I really love like I'm not by any means like a beauty influencer or anything. I could never be that. Not going to go down that path. But one thing that like I really loved when I was talking to you was like you said, come in to the store and we'll actually show you like a whole routine from start to finish. And I'm like, "Wait, what? I don't know." Like I nobody ever taught me how to put on makeup, and I watch videos and I'm like, which one goes first? Is it the concealer? Is it I was like, oh, I would love this idea of going in and having someone walk me through the entire process from beginning to end on how to use these products, right? So do you get a lot of that? Like customers coming in and just being like, teach me how to put on proper makeup.
Yes, of course we do. We do. And again, like I said earlier, like we are a judgment-free zone. So it doesn't matter sort of what stage you're in the learning and understanding of putting on makeup, from basic fundamentals. Like that's where we really like to start. If you are a little bit more advanced, then we'll start somewhere else with you too. But we do have that initial conversation at first. So we do offer complimentary makeup consultations. That's where you come in, we check out the kind of skin that you have, the texture, whether it's dry, whether it's oily, and then we sort of match match you with different products that we have that would do well on your type of skin. And then that's for the consultation. And then we sort of go through different products and how they sit on your skin and that kind of thing. For makeup lessons, that is a lot more comprehensive. And that way we teach you every single kind of step of the way. So from the beginning, this is how you apply this, that's how you apply that, different placement on your face, because makeup is all about depth and dimension, light and dark. So where you place that on your face really ends up changing the entire structure look of your face, right? And so we want to make sure that things are lifted, that things are light, because that's the direction that we want to go in. And if you place it a little bit incorrectly, you could have one side of your face a little bit higher than the other side looking like, or you could have like more droopy looking like, like we want to make sure that everything's light and lifted. So we do offer one-on-one makeup lessons. We also offer group makeup lessons. We just did a beautiful thing for Mother's Day not too long ago, where we had the two people come in, so mother daughter kind of thing, or daughter and whoever is like your mother figure, you can come in with them too. And we did a beautiful lesson with the two people, and it was like kind of geared towards learning how to do the base and learning how to do all of the basic fundamentals of your makeup before you get into like the eyes and the shadows and smoky eyes and this and that. Like makeup can be taught over hours and hours and hours, but we like to keep it concise and very, very simple for an every single day routine, because you're doing your makeup every day for every day. You're not doing so much of a full smoky eye glam look like every single day. And when you do want to do like a full glam or even a soft glam, we do also offer in our location, we do makeup for special events. So for bridal, for prom, all of that stuff, event makeup, photo shoot makeup, that kind of thing. We do that as well, which is a different service that we do, but all of our services are offered on our website under Pro Makeup Services on phoenixcosmetics.com.
Awesome. So before we completely run out of time, I just want to ask you one question. So you went from, pageants, and you did mention that you were in real estate. What was that transition like from, going from being in pageants and sort of running your own real estate thing to being like the CEO and founder of this massive brand?
Wow. So it's crazy that you asked me that, because I do still do real estate and I love doing real estate.
Mm.
Um, but when I started my company, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I'll be completely honest, because I was like, okay, well, let's just kind of see how it goes. So it's like testing the market, right? So
Yeah.
I started off with like one product. I think I started off with like the lashes. That was my first thing. And then lashes turned into, well, okay, we kind of need like a mascara to sort of go with that. We also need a lash curler to go with that. We also need an eyeliner. So I kind of worked backwards, not from like the basic fundamental forward. I kind of worked backwards, and I was like, "Okay, I need everything in this line in order for this to work." So what I did, I'm actually like all self-funded, so I don't have any investors or anybody else at this point in the company. I have had some offers, and just some stuff didn't really align. So I wasn't there yet, and I wasn't ready for some of the changes that were coming my way a little bit earlier. So there, a lot of that had to do with me putting money into it that I was earning through my real estate into my passion so that that could grow. And I still, like I said, I still do both. But one of them I'm more excited about and passionate about because I have an everyday interaction with people that are actively learning how to do their makeup every single day. And then the other one, which I also love, and I put a lot of my time and effort into, was put on hold for the first year and a half while I was getting Phoenix on its feet, because I wasn't able to split myself in so many different directions. But now I do have employees working at the store, which is really great. We have so many events and pop-ups and things that are scheduled where I have to be a part of that to some capacity.
Mhm.
And I'm just able to time manage the way that it works for me and push towards something that I love so much and I love to see grow.
Yeah,
It's just a really great feeling.
I love that. So last question, I keep saying that, but I keep coming up with more. So do you, coming from pageants and wearing a lot of makeup and things like that, do you has that made a difference for you as a CEO? Do people take you more seriously because you understand makeup and you wore it? or is it the opposite effect?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. I've never been asked that before. I've never actually thought about that
Because
before. Um,
there's this whole persona with like beauty pageants, like you guys are like they're the ultimate vision of what a woman sort of wants to be. So I'm just wondering if that has a positive or a negative effect.
that's so interesting, and I'm thinking about it as you're asking me. Um, I can see how it could have a negative effect. I definitely can see that. But I feel like if you know me, like if you've met me in person and you know me, I don't feel like I would make somebody feel that way.
Yeah.
I do work really hard at just kind of leading with my heart, and talking to people from my heart and relating to them in a way that you all have to understand that in pageantry, pageant girls are very much like regular girls too, right? Like we all wake up in the morning with no makeup on, with our hair a mess, and we have to like put ourselves together in order to like face the world, right? So there is that element of like normalcy there too. It's just I think sometimes the media portrays like people in general in the like any kind of celebrity status or celebrity sphere as like they're like all the way out there, like they're like unreachable, like they're like not human, or they're like it is a little bit like feels a little bit dehumanizing sometimes, but we really are like we're women and girls, like just like you and me and everybody else, that it's not so much about that. I think the experience side of it brings more like comfort and reassurance and less like intimidation, because all of my skin issues and all the things that I went through too, I'm sure there were women at some point looking up to me and thinking, oh my goodness, like that's incredible what she's accomplished. But like, look at what I was dealing with. Like
Yeah.
every day I would take off my layers and layers and layers of makeup and just cry, like that's really, really raw.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
and that's the reason why I asked the question is because, I don't think we understand what we're seeing on TV, that there's so much depth to it. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you were obviously struggling with something. That's why you decided to start the brand. And let's be real, like women in business, we struggle. It's a hustle every day. But coming from the beauty space where you're so like you're looked at as like this golden thing. I was just curious, like, how that affected you. But I'm glad it's had like a really good positive influence on you and your customers as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No, I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast and sharing your journey and being authentic. I love the brand. I mean, personally, I'm not being biased or anything, but I love the journey and your story and how you took something that you were struggling with, and you made a change in the marketplace. And I think there's a huge need for that. And you also overcame a lot of stereotypes. You're not just a beauty queen, you're a businesswoman. And I think that's powerful and I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for joining me. And all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope that we can do this again in the future, because talks like this, like they just get me thinking about everything and, reflecting really, and just reminding myself of like why I do what I do. Cause sometimes our lives get so busy. And like you said, we're so wrapped up in so many different things, but having these conversations, these meaningful conversations, they really bring you back to what's important. So I appreciate that. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to thank Tamara for sharing her journey with us. From conquering the stage as Miss Universe Canada to launching Phoenix Cosmetics, her story is a vivid example of how challenges can forge pathways to innovation and empowerment. Tamara's commitment to creating makeup that not only beautifies but heals reflects her deep dedication to wellness and self care. To our listeners, thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and inspiration. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform and join our community on social media. I would love to hear from you. Leave a review and tell me what topics you'd like me to explore in future episodes. Remember, the future belongs to those who embrace change and innovation with tenacity. Keep striving, keep innovating, and most importantly, stay tenacious in your pursuits. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to bringing you more inspiring conversations in our upcoming episodes. This is Sonia signing off, but as always, remember to chase your dreams with tenacity.